So I went to art school. You know that, right? I went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago.
I was about to say, you went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. Yeah.
Freshman year at art school is weird because everyone's kind of figure out who they are. Mm-hmm. And when you're trying to figure out who you are, you're kind of just making bad art because you're you're 18. You don't know what you're doing, whatever.
Most people are smoking weed, but making art.
Oh, there's a lot of that too. But I was really frustrated because it was like, we're doing all these collaborations, or not collaborations, so we're reviewing other people's work, and it's not to the level that I feel like it's a good use of my time. And there was a guy though, his name was Brandon, and I was always really taken with his work because his stuff was always very thoughtful, and it was always. It wasn't about him. It was about a bigger thing. So halfway through, we had a show, and the work he did was 20 pagers, like beepers. And he had them all on a wall, and he had just uploaded a very simple code to them and then hooked them all up to receipt printers. And so they were pinging out to all the hospitals in Chicago, grabbing the codes and printing them. So when a doctor got a code that the patient suffering from this in room this was having something happen, the receipt printer would print it out. And it was all just a thing about security and, your identity being out there. It was a very cool piece. Anyway, I talked.
So, okay. This sounds like HEPA violations left and right, but keep going.
Well, that was his whole point is he's like, I'm 18 years old. I didn't actually change any of the code on the beeper itself. It was a very simple thing to do. All of these people's data is just out there.
Got it. So the performance was kind of to expose this.
Yeah, exactly. And then after 2 days, there's this giant pile of receipt paper on the ground, just full of people suffering, and being kind of publicly shown what the issue is. And so I talked to them a lot because it was so nice to have someone who was actually really being thoughtful about the work they were making. And he always said, I was like, it's so different than everyone else. Where is this coming from? He's like, I don't know. I really like the idea of serving a useful purpose, as whatever that is. If I can serve a useful purpose, that's good. And he just always made art like this, and it was really wonderful. And then years went on. Next semester or next year, we didn't have as many classes together, and but I still saw his work popping up left and right. And then one semester, he was just gone. I don't know. I didn't know if he dropped out. I didn't know whatever, but never saw him around. Never saw his work. And a couple years later, senior year, I was working at the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, working with cuttlefish and, just kind of going about business. But one of the things that happened that year was there's a big dolphin exhibit at the Shed Aquarium, and they were able to get one of the dolphins was able to become pregnant and have a baby in captivity. Mm-hmm. And that was a really big deal because that doesn't happen very often. And the Shed Aquarium, I don't know, the dolphins is a big thing for them. So they were very excited. And so I was walking around one day taking a break, and I was like, well, I'm going to go see the baby dolphin. I haven't seen it yet. It's really cute. It's on display now, whatever. And so I'm walking around, and out of the corner of my eye, I see there's Brandon. There's this guy who just put up the face of the map. And he's working at the Shed Aquarium. He's working with these dolphins, and the mom dolphin's there and the baby dolphin's there. And we had this special food that was like a protein-rich chum that was for weaning the baby dolphin off its mother, so whatever. And he was feeding it to the dolphin. And so I waved him over, and we were talking, and the dolphins kind of swam over there with him because they were still eating. And so he's feeding this baby dolphin. And I was like, hey, man, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? He's like, just didn't feel right at school, so whatever. And I was like, yeah, but you were making such amazing stuff. It's such a bummer to see you. I mean, you had all these goals. You want to do all this stuff. You wanted to serve a useful purpose, everything. And he looks at me, and he looks at the baby dolphin. He looks at me, and he goes, no, I'm serving a useful purpose.
Oh my God! All right, let's go.
Brian's got a mind twisted inside, sees the world like sunshine at night. He
to the Scam Stuff, the show that's stuffed full of the stuff that we stuff in the Scam Stuff. I'm Brian Brushwood.
I'm Ryer Appledorn, and I'm sorry.
I suspect an awful lot of that was actually true. And
only about like 10% of it.
Yeah, all right. Mostly it was a true story with a joke stapled on the end. Okay, last week we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. You were teasing the fact that we were thinking about doing a premium edition of the Vox Tempest ARG Puzzle Box experience, and you had what did you have to share?
Well, I want to do like a series of Vox Tempest that are made out of unique materials or unique take on the style, kind of based off ideas I had while I was making them. And I've already made a few of them, and so I was, I sent you some test pictures so you can see what one of these looks like. Holy
moly, free holy! Let me go ahead and oh my goodness! All right, tell me about what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so it's a Vox Tempest. It's the same sort of design that all the regular Vox Tempests are, but this one has it's all gold inlay. All the engravings are inlaid with real gold. There's mother of pearl inlay in there, and the interior is fully lined with cordovan leather.
No, wait a minute. The mother of pearl, that's basically the same material as a pearl. That's the rest of the shell. Like that's, I always think of a handgun or something awesome.
Yeah. So you can get it from a few different mollusks. This is from abalone. But yeah, it's the protective lining inside the shell of a filter feeder.
This is amazing. So when you pitched this, at first I was worried that there would be too many choices, but you suggested that each one of these would be one of a kind.
Yeah, so each one will look a little different. So if we call this one the black edition, I've also got a white edition, and I've got other ones that are made out of different materials. There's a metal one. There's one that looks like it's from the Renaissance era. There's one that looks like it's from far in the future. They're all just kind of different takes on the idea that I had, or different takes on the idea while I was making all of the Vox Tempest. And so the idea is that there's 20 of these things. They're all going to be different, and I think we just like a blind box, you mentioned blind box, and it took me a moment to wrap my head around it. But the idea is basically picture not you're at the supermarket and you're having choice paralysis about what type of salsa to get from 8 million, but instead it's like, we have 20 Weimaraner puppies. They are all wonderful in different ways. You will get one of them. Which one? Yeah. You will find out when it arrives. Yeah, it's like baseball cards the same way, right? You know there's a certain set. You don't know what's going to be inside that set that you're buying. I love collecting artists' toys, little sculptures where there's a variety. Some of them are more rare than others. Who knows? You don't know what's going to be inside that box, though, until you open it. So now the game is, if we're going to have something truly special and unique about these, we have to start, actually, I say we, the audience needs to start brainstorming what truly special additional things would make for a signature edition of Vox Tempest. Right. Yeah. I think, you're going to get the box. It's going to be totally unique and special, handmade by me, whatever. But what else really would enhance the experience of getting a premium Vox Tempest? Yeah. I'd love to hear what people say. And speaking of things that take a lot of effort to do, you are sitting on ingredients for the last 4 of the Rogue's Ultimate Magic Wallets. We're doing a Father's Day sale. We just started the new process that looks absolutely fabulous on the etching on the side of them. But quantities are extremely limited, and they're a pain in the butt to put together. And so after this holiday rush, it's going to be a few months until we have them. And for anybody who's not familiar, the Rogue's Magic Wallet is a fantastic beginners to intermediate to advanced magic wallet. Even if you've never done a magic trick before, right out of the box, you're going to be able to make cash appear and disappear. You're going to be able to read minds in no time, and then it only gets more advanced from there. We do these in batches, and we are close enough to kind of a break on these where it'll be a few months before we get a batch ready for Christmas that we decided to put them on sale at a price affordable enough that everybody, we're just going to run out. It says 7 available in stock.
By the time this comes out, I assume that number will be down to like 4. But basically, jump on it while you can. The Rogue's Ultimate Magic Wallet is good.
Yeah, I have the Rogues wallet. It used to be my everyday carry wallet for a long time, especially when I was doing trade shows. It was my favorite thing to have because you could use it as a very clever way to exchange business cards with people and kind of get them to remember who you were because you did something magical.
We can share that. There's a mind reading trick that is a freaking amazing mind reading trick, and all it requires is that you have a few business cards and this special type of magic wallet. You get the instructions and everything in there. It's great. It's great. You really should get them before they get complicated to get.
Absolutely.
If you want the whole story on the Rogue's Ultimate Magic Wallet, make sure to click on the video on the store page. Look at that guy. He looks familiar. Too familiar.
So then we did have a comment in one of the previous videos of someone who suggested classic like magic store magic tricks and novelties and pranks and things like that as a potential product line.
Historically, there is a hot decade where it was really important to me that I not have, forgive me, magic store operators, magic store owner stink on me. You know, novelty gag stuff. Somebody called novelty gags on the store, and I kind of bristled at that. Now I'm 50, and now I'm just here for the lulz. I'm ready to have fun.
Yeah, There used to be a store called Doc's Magic Shop on Mackinac Island up in northern Michigan. And man, whenever I would get the chance to go to Mackinac Island, it was my favorite place to go because everyone knew what they were selling and they did a really good job of like giving you real world examples. So it's like you don't have to be a touring magician to do some of these. It's and I was talking to my wife about this idea, and she's like, "Oh, I think that's great."
Last night in the middle of the night, I woke up and I emailed you just the word Funkin' Ring and a link.
Ring.
Had you ever heard the word Funkin' Ring before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, great. So it's a small gag, and we don't have them in the store yet. This is me asking if you guys think it'd be fun. I can picture a video, come up with a couple of gags, doing this out in the wild. But this is somebody else's video on here. You can see it's a ring that shoots sparks when you least expect it. So that means you can run up and you can just touch electrical things, make everybody, boy, look at that cell phone. That's the peak of 2005 technology. But all of that stuff is going to make people jump.
I can't remember what magician used to do it, but apparently whenever he would get in an elevator with people, he'd be like, "Oh, what floor are you going to?" And then he'd go to push the button on the elevator and activate the Funkin' Ring.
Well, and there's a lot of folks who really dig the Fire Wallet, but boy, they don't dig getting in trouble for opening a Fire Wallet.
Yeah.
So something like a Funkin' Ring might be a good middle step. So we'll see about adding those to the store next.
Yeah.
All right. So before we wrap up, I have kind of an unannouncement. I guess this is just a tease. I'm cooking up sort of a tour of sorts idea for later this summer. I don't know what it's going to look like yet, but it occurs to me there's a whole layer of participation in all the stuff we do that the vast majority of people don't even know about at the email layer, right? Like they, I don't make it easy to get on the email list either. A lot of people are harping on get on the email list or whatever. I'm like, if you're lucky, you find yourself in there and wonder what's going on. But the way to get in there is to go to gimme.scamstuff.com. That's gimme.scamstuff.com. And sign up for a free giveaway. This week we're doing a ultraviolet. It doesn't matter. Just sign up for it. Make sure to fill in all of the stuff, and then you'll find yourself on the list. Of course, you can unsubscribe later. It's very easy. It's one click. But the important thing is you think we're beginning to share stuff here. The real talk is all on the email list. That's where you want to be.
Like, because you and I talk every day for hours a day, and there's still stuff that comes out on the email list that I'm like, oh, I had no idea Brian was working on that. So it really is a peek behind the curtain.
Probably not a smart business decision, but it is an authentic decision. And as we've talked about, I'm betting hard on authenticity. Yeah,
definitely. And like just recently you were talking about kind of these ideas you had for your summer project, and I think and that came out over the email list, and I think it's very exciting what's going on over there. But I think that's everything I've got on my docket for us to talk about today.
I got a quote. I got a quote for us.
Okay, take us out in a quote.
The great Stephen Pressfield, who wrote The War of Art, says, if you find yourself asking yourself and your friends, am I really a writer? Am I really an artist? Chances are you are. The counterfeit innovator is wildly self-confident. The real one is scared to death. Truer words have never been written.
Absolutely, yeah. All the best creators have imposter syndrome for sure.
Yes, we all suck. We did it.